You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Vegas. It's rock. It's dogs. It's Vegas Rock Dog Radio. A rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. Stand by for great guests and cool advice. All in one rockin' hour. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. That's 702-483-4444. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Hello, everyone. It's a gorgeous day in Las Vegas, and you're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs, and we're live on a gorgeous day. We were just over at, where were we, Jim? I can't remember
Chapman,
the dealership.
Chrysler Dodge. Chrysler Jeep, sorry.
It's the dealership over in Henderson, the Auto Mall over there, and they're doing a Pet Appreciation Day event. And we set up our table. Who else was there? Sandy from Dogs ID Tagged, Amanda from Livecast Studios. If you read my blog this week, the Rock and Roll Dog
Shelter will be there today.
That's right. We need to talk to them as well. The rockandrolldog.com. If you hop on there, I did a fantastic blog post on Livecast Studios where we did a live cast with me holding Thornton's paw for 4 minutes that felt like a lifetime. But the peanut butter helped hold her in place while we got the cast. The mold itself, actually, the mold is very rubbery. It's like if you've had impressions done at the dentist, it's that material. So it is safe. And but they got to keep still for 4 minutes. So she did wonderfully well. And
I can't keep still for 4 minutes.
I know. And the cast came out brilliant, and they bronzed it for me. So I actually took it down today to the Pet Appreciation event down there at the Auto Mall, and it's on Amanda's table. She's doing live castings today. This is her first event as a vendor. It's the first time she's ever been a vendor. So when we left, she was taping brown paper across the whole table. She got a jar of peanut butter at hand to keep the pets still. So I'm sure when we get there, she looked beautiful when we left. I bet when we get back, she's covered in all kinds of stuff and dog hair. Yeah. So, but I'm really, really thrilled. They've got a fantastic business that people have shown a lot of interest in. And yeah, the Henderson shelter's there. So Thornton came from the Henderson shelter. So we love them, and they do a very nice job of getting the animals adopted out. And
Thornton came from there 8 years ago.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? We didn't actually go to the shelter. We were at PetSmart picking up treats prior to Jim having his surgery on his nose to get his nose fixed because he broke it. And we had Galaxy with us, and we went to get treats and food, didn't we? And before we pulled up, I saw these two cute dogs, Fluffy and the Jack Russell. And I didn't even know who they were. I just said, oh, gosh, look how cute that dog is. And then we went in. Then the dog was in there with the lady. And I said, oh, is this your dog? And she said, no, they're from the shelter. I picked the two calmest dogs. And I thought I might be able to get them adopted today. I said, I'll take her right now. That was exactly. We weren't looking for the dog. I just instantly fell in love with her. He goes, but I've got to get to this surgery. And I said, no, hang on, we're paying for her. We didn't ask any questions. All we knew was an owner had turned her in, and her name was Princess.
She acts like one.
So does not fit. What was that, Jim?
She acts like a princess.
Sometimes it's not really a great name for her. So we changed her name and we changed her life. And so that's why we love the Henderson shelter. So that's how we got her. It's funny, isn't it? You're not looking. It's like when people say, I fell in love when I was least looking for it. You know, that goes for your animals. That goes for your people too. Were you looking for love, Jim, when you saw me?
Yes, I was hunting.
Look how embarrassed he is.
I know.
He went bright red. And that's not because of his niacin flush that he's having.
Niacin flush.
I just asked him if he was having hot flashes. And I looked at him like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's Diane that's here in studio. She has a great show here on Vegas All Net Radio called The Ladies of On Pit Road Racing. We love Diane. She loves animals too.
She's a racing lady.
She's a racing lady. Hey, there's a lot of women that love racing. I was surprised how many women love it.
And how about those little girls?
Oh, how old were they? 12?
They ranged from 8 to 16.
on the racetrack. They were fearless. I thought they're gonna whip all these guys because hey, they've got the physicality though on their side. They've got youth on their side because I didn't realize how physical racing was until Mike he got out of the car and I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And he was like, yeah, I'm just like worn out.
Yes.
So the physical aspect of it is very important. People think that you just sat there in the car. Heck no.
Oh no.
There's
turns.
I'd be contracting my abdominals on those.
Now NASCAR, it's just left.
Right.
Left. You don't turn right.
Oh, that's right.
Go left. Most of that, they're left.
Right.
But in the go-karts, if you have like the road course,
yes,
you go left, right.
the wiggles.
Yes.
The wiggles.
The wiggle. You wiggle around that
Race
course.
car drivers don't do the wiggles.
But it's a good visual. We were down at the Gene Woods Racing Experience, and this is where Diane and Mike had this fantastic fundraiser. And what a great track! And the view from there is great because it's the whole strip.
Yeah.
But you need to get some friends together, Jim, and do that.
Do some racing.
Yeah.
Just let Mike know, and then we'll go out there with you.
That would be so much fun. Since you missed
Go
out.
with Mike. I'll just race with Mike.
All right then, sounds good to me. Well,
like we're the Stig.
You're the what?
do you know who the Stig is?
The Stig?
Oh,
There's this great car show in Britain that's been going for 30 years
forever and a day.
called
And I love it. And I'm not a car person, but I love that show because the three hosts are hilarious. I mean, the shows since then.
It's called Top Gear.
Top Gear, yeah.
And they're celebrity hosts, but they're also car enthusiasts.
Oh yeah.
And they come up with themes and they
Mad challenges.
and they drive different cars and race cars and do on-road and off-road things and junk car things and
they have the
but
Stig.
yeah, it is fantastic. But they're the hosts, and then they have this mysterious guy that wears a white racing suit and a white helmet.
You can never see his
with
face.
a blackout face mask, and you never see his face. And he's their expert car tester guy, and he's just called the Stig.
The Stig.
Oh, wow.
And no one knows his identity. It's been going
And how
forever.
do you see that?
You know what? You can probably see. You can see episodes on BBC America,
Okay.
or you can see it on YouTube.
Okay.
They came up with an American version of the show.
Oh,
It
it's
doesn't
terrible.
really come close.
You can't. It's like The Office here. It's terrible. You can't remake British comedy.
No.
You can't remake it. It's a different sense of humor. Even though the script is the same from The Office, because Ricky Gervais wrote that whole thing as well as starred in it. It is not that funny. And I think they make it look too glamorous, that show here. Because it's a paper mill in England,
Really?
in a not so nice town. You know what I mean? And then it just looks too glam on TV here.
Now, I think you should get in one of those carts.
Oh, and race. I got a dodgy neck.
You got a what?
A dodgy neck.
Well, they put it. They have a neck
I did
brace.
see those braces. Did they really hold them in place?
Oh, yeah, your head does. Yeah.
You don't bobble around.
And
Yeah.
you get a helmet that fits really good, and then get one of those
That supports the
neck.
back. That was my only concern because I said to Jim, God, I would love to have done that, but I have that neck thing going on.
No, yeah.
We both fell a couple of years ago. This is the craziest thing ever. We fell outside of a Target at the same time, like synchronized falling. We ended up in emergency. It's the most bizarre situation. And the red painted fire thing outside Target. Well, the one where we live, well, all of them the same near where we live. There's no grit in the paint for traction. And it was summer. It wasn't wet or anything like that. And we were walking out chit-chatting. He was slightly in front of me. And next thing you know, I'm on my back in agony. And I don't understand why my husband hasn't come to help me. And I kind of roll over and he's lying next to me. Yes. And I go, what happened? I don't know. He says, I don't know. And I'm like, we couldn't get up. We were in so much pain.
Oh, my gosh.
His phone had gone flying, smashed into a million pieces. You damaged your wrist, your neck, your knee. I damaged my neck. I damaged my knee. My toe looked like it was hanging off. It was bleeding, but I didn't realize that until I actually stood up. And I was like, oh, my gosh. We were down on the floor for ages. I mean, they had video. I wish we tried to get the video. They would not give us the video, but if we had that video, we would have been YouTube millionaires. I would have put that on YouTube because how does that even happen? That is so bizarre. So we'd slipped on that red paint. So we decked it, as we like to say in England. We decked it, but we were laid there for ages, couldn't get up. Just was like in absolute agony. But at the same time we fell down, a car drove in front of us on the road, and everybody thought we'd been run over. that we'd been knocked over. So people were running over, giving us like car information detail. I got their plate and we saw who ran you over. No, nobody hit us. And well, why are you on the floor? We don't know. We had no idea why we were on our backs in agony. Wow. And when we actually touched that, we realized, wow, it was like glass. Honestly, it was like glass. If you see us on a camera going to Target, you see us walk over that red stripe from now on. We don't step on it. So anyway, we ended up in emergency, x-rays and all, and that's when she said to us, well, you've both got degenerative disc disease. I said, what? And she was like, yeah, you both got it, and so that's the dodgy neck situation. But that wasn't from the actual accident itself. Right. I guess it's with age.
But it didn't help.
It did not help. Let me tell you something. I know why older people cannot recover from falls. It took us a long time, didn't it, Jem? It just didn't feel right for a real long time. And, it took my jaw out of alignment and my teeth started to hit on top of each other. And I was in absolute agony in my head and teeth and jaw and neck. Went to my dentist. I said, I don't know what's going on with my teeth. I think click, it was from the fall. And he said, what have you done? I said, I had nothing. And then I went, oh, did I tell you about this awful fall? Oh, I said, oh my gosh, that's when it all started. So I had to go to the chiropractor to have that put back in place. It's not a big click thing.
Jaw adjustment is very interesting.
It hurts.
Does it?
It hurts. It's not a click. It's not some weird, like fast jerky movement. It's not. It's an interesting thing that they do from standing behind you, where they actually hold like the hinges of your jaw in a certain way that when they ask you to open your mouth, you can't open your mouth. She's like, open it, and you have to open it. And she opens it, she pushes the jaw back where it should be. And it worked, But, if I do get stressed once in a while, it pulls it out of alignment. It really, really does. People like tense around the jaw. So that's our crazy fall down neck story, jaw story.
Wow.
Step over that red paint, people.
That was a bizarre story.
I know. If we had that video, as I say, I would have been a multimillionaire on YouTube by now. Well, if you're just listening to the show, it's surprising what we talk about on this show. But if you're just listening to the show, you listen to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs. And if you want to find us elsewhere on the internet, we're on Periscope at Vegas Rock Dog. And we will Periscope this afternoon from the Pet Appreciation event down at Chapman Chrysler Jeep at the Henderson Auto Mall. And we'll be back down there around 11:30. So we'll Periscope and see what's going on down there. So
come on out and see us later today.
Yeah, it's on till 2. So you'll be able to see what's going on.
I think Taco Bell's going to be there.
Well, you are an eating machine.
He is like snacks.
I get quite hungry on Saturdays.
He does. I don't know what. It's like a routine.
Look how skinny he is.
He's got a bit of a routine going on.
In there.
It's hidden in there. You're funny.
In your hair, baby. You do got some nice hair. I'm ready for.
It does love that hair.
Mike's hair to grow
I like
back.
Mike's new hairdo.
I do too. It's good. It's a good look.
Oh.
I want him to grow back.
Okay. All right, get looking at that.
If you want, you can hop over to our website.
Get some of that chia stuff.
Jim. Gosh, it's now the Jim show.
Yeah,
it is. Every other week. You should say
Jim show.
Playing the show, Jim.
Yeah. I think you should play. I think you should play the penny whistle next week on air.
Oh, that's an idea.
Because that's small. You can bring that with you. You won't have to bring a big instrument.
All right.
I want to learn to play the recorder.
Oh, he plays recorder
it's
too.
surprisingly difficult to play that Renaissance recorder. Pick yourself up one. They're about $5 to $10. I'll work with you on it.
Yeah, he'll teach you how to play it.
I've always wanted that and the piano.
He's strict, Diane.
I've wanted.
He's a strict teacher.
Okay.
Well, that won't work for her.
That's not very nice.
Will you rebel, Diane? Sorry for laughing, Diane.
We also support live in studio domestic disputes.
My son actually told me that he's saving his money right now to get a saxophone. He's going to learn to play the saxophone.
Is he?
I am so thrilled.
Good for him. I could recommend a good teacher for him.
Well, he's in Kansas.
It's not here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd have to fly out.
He can play the he can play the guitar. Now he wants to play the sax.
Good luck, whoever.
He wants to be like Eddie Money.
Yeah.
See that?
God, I love Eddie.
You know Eddie Money. He's multi-instrumentalist, and he started out as a saxophone player.
He did.
He was a New York City cop though as well.
Yeah, one day.
That's interesting.
Is that all it was?
Yeah.
And they got shot at.
Shot at twice in the first day.
That was the end of his career as a policeman.
But we're glad. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad he got shot at. I'm glad he's okay. But I'm glad he got,
You know how he plays? It's brilliant.
Okay, I think you guys need to talk about animals.
Yeah.
Well, I got one. I live
we
with
got
one.
that was the pop culture segment of the show.
That is the pop
that's
culture
right.
segment.
There's pop culture in your
Yes,
thing.
there is. It's all
People,
relevant.
Pets and pop. Okay.
Well, let me tell you what the tip of the day is going to be. It's actually a lot of tips. It's for Halloween. Jim gets very annoyed when people say
Halloween.
Halloween instead of
Halloween.
I know, it's a strange thing. Halloween's coming up. It's one of the most fun events for families and their children, but is it fun for your pets? In our home, it's a nightmare, a living nightmare actually. Our dogs do not like people knocking on the door any time of year, let alone Halloween, repeatedly, or ringing on the doorbell. And they're not fans of screaming kids in bizarre costumes. So we choose not to participate in the traditional sense of Halloween. And it's easy. We don't have children, so we don't have any kids to disappoint or anything like that. But how do you ensure a safe Halloween when you have children and pets? So I put together some tips that should help you have a good Halloween night without a lot of stress and any emergencies. Because the day after Halloween, sure enough, someone contacts me. My dog ran away. My blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, what are the stats? It's
high.
Independence Day and Halloween are the number one pet runaway days
That's right.
because the doors are open and closed and open
Fireworks
and closed and, open
and-
and closed and noises and
Yeah.
distractions.
So here we go. Tip number 1.
Go on then.
Go on then. Lots of people decorate with lights. So be very strategic where you place your Halloween lights. And if your cat or dog chews on the glass or the plastic bulbs, they are going to cut themselves. And if they chew on the cord, they could get a life-threatening electrical shock. So make sure they are away from kids and your pets when you're decorating with the lights. Don't keep lit pumpkins around kids or pets either. So we're talking about fire now. And again, if you're lighting these pumpkins, place them where they cannot get knocked off, particularly by cats, because cats can get everywhere and everywhere. And
Or vandals.
Or what?
Vandals.
Cats are vandals.
Or vandals.
Or vandals. Yeah, that's another thing too. Or by your kids, because one brush past those, and they have a lot of those kids wear those costumes are quite flammable. Really?
No, they're non-flammable.
Are you sure?
By law, all that stuff is.
Really?
Yes, even when we were kids growing
Yeah.
up.
So what does it do?
That
Does
was
it
the big
melt? Does
issue.
it do nothing? What does it do?
It's flame resistant
It just
of some sort.
repels
It's
You know what? I will go buy one
and test it.
and I will test it and let you guys know.
All right. Are you
Because
sure?
I've often wondered that.
Yeah.
Buy it-
And it's
buy it-
definitely by law
Buy
across
a
the
Darth
board.
Vader one.
Across the board, though.
Yeah.
Law.
Oh yeah, the laws are really strict on.
Still, you
Children's
don't
Halloween
want their
costumes.
hair flicking past. What about wigs? People. Kids are wearing those frozen wigs.
Yep.
And they're the big long plait. We call it a plait or a braid. Yeah. Well, we'll check into that. But here's the thing: be very prepared with it when it comes to things with fire, because that's the last thing that you need, and you don't want your home setting on fire either. Pumpkins and corn. Lots of people decorate with pumpkins and they decorate with corn, and it can certainly cause a stomach upset, even though they're classed as non-toxic. But as you and I both know, if you eat too much of anything, like half the stuff that Jim's eating this morning, you're going to have some digestive problems and possibly blockages. And that's the last thing you need for your pet is a blockage. And once again, place them out of reach when you use them as decorations. And you may love a trick or treat. I actually don't like any Halloween candies, so that's good for me. But they're not for your pets. They're just not for your pets. So all chocolate is bad for pets. And the darker the chocolate, the more dangerous and lethal. The symptoms that your pet will display if they've been poisoned by chocolate are vomiting, diarrhea, rapid breathing, increased heart rate, and seizures. Other candies, or as we call them in England, sweeties, containing the artificial sweetener xylitol, can also be poisonous to dogs. And if you see a loss of coordination and seizures in your pet, you've got to get to your veterinarian immediately. And please tell your kids not to feed your pets their stash of treats because they're only for the kids. And of course, make sure that the dogs and cats cannot get to them either when they come back with the big pumpkins filled with all that stuff. And that's another one of those just really dangerous ones. And if you are going door to door with your pets, which some people do, I wouldn't accept a single thing from anybody, whether it's a dog treat, because we hear those horrible stories, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on about what some people, horrible people, do around Halloween time. So be very careful when it comes to those treats, only for your kids. And gosh, I mean, now you have to go and x-ray your kids' sweets now, don't you? It's ridiculous. Don't dress your pet in a costume unless you know
haven't found a razor blade or a needle in my treats in my entire lifetime. I think it's urban myth.
I don't think it is, Jim. I mean, do you know what's happening right now? People are chopping up hot dogs and they put in poison in them and leaving them out in dog parks. Yeah, there's some sick people out there.
I'm talking about people that give Halloween.
But here's the thing. Would you trust it? I don't trust it.
I was watching America's Secret Book or Book of Secrets.
Oh, on Netflix.
Do you watch it?
Yes, it's so good.
It's not. Did you watch the one about the terrorist? And what they are thinking? I mean, people are thinking that they're gonna do. Apple orchards are going to start poisoning the apples. How easy would that be?
Yeah, it is. That's it. It's the easiest thing you don't
that
think
would
of.
Be the
I know.
Snow White effect.
Oh, you would have to say that. I'm serious.
You're ridiculous, Jim.
Serious.
He's so ridiculous.
But when I saw
Those
that,
are
and I'm
poison
thinking,
apple.
oh my God,
Who is he?
I'm thinking, do I ever want to buy another apple again?
No.
Wow.
Because I saw that.
You have to grow your own.
I love apples. It's my favorite fruit.
Well,
Pomegranate.
if I see you getting sleepy, I'll know what happened.
We were driving by a neighborhood in Boulder City the other day, and their pomegranate tree was full of pomegranates
it was
hanging over the wall.
huge.
And I wanted to stop and grab some.
I was like, no, you can't take people's pomegranates.
If it hangs
You
over
can't go
the
in
wall.
their. It was in their garden. It wasn't hanging over nothing. You would have to go in their garden.
Well, maybe, but no.
Well, that's what I used to say about my neighbours. The easiest way to grow apples is to have your neighbour's tree hang over your wall.
I'll tell you what, Jim. Sandy Castell, one of the ladies of Pit Road Racing, has a pomegranate
Does
tree.
she?
Excellent.
I will have her bring some pomegranates next and
You know,
make you laugh.
Sandy and I go back a long time. We've known each other.
He's
for
played for
years.
Sandy before.
yeah. We're trying to get her.
Might be playing for her again.
Yeah, we're trying. we're trying to get her out there and get a show.
Now we have
Excellent.
it out there now.
Excellent. Yeah, I like Sandy a lot. But yeah, pomegranates. Love them. But you can't go in people's gardens and
No.
take them, Jim. But
I used to steal pumpkins.
did you?
We used to steal
I was doing-
watermelons.
I
Confession
cookies.
time.
I did it with my nieces and nephews.
Diane show now.
But it was fun. so,
I just like talking to these guys.
So when it comes to pet costumes, here we go. Don't dress them up if they don't like it. I know it's super
Yeah,
fun
Ask them first.
to dress. Well, they will tell you. They will tell you when they bite you, when you put something on their head that they do not like. Jim's full of it today. It must be all those snacks and E numbers he's eating this
Where's
morning.
the hot dogs at?
And where is the hot dog you normally have?
I was
Oh
gonna
my
get a hot dog
gosh.
on the
You
way
said
up.
Jim's not a cat person.
He's allergic,
Now,
to
do you like cats at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I like animals.
But he just
We had a friend of ours that you want to see something funny, but you guys don't have cats, but you can imagine it. Take a sock
Yeah.
and tie it around the end of them, like they're towards their bottom.
Right.
Tie it and then sit them down and watch them walk.
Oh, you know what? I
mean, it's funny,
What,
but
what did
it's
I
not.
say? I saw a cat
It's
with a.
cruel.
I thought someone put a cat harness on a cat, and the cat just flopped on its side like it was like immobile because it had a cat harness on, and then
That's
it took it off. It was fine.
We've tried to walk our cats.
Not happening.
No.
Well, they will tell you. Let me tell you
That's
that.
right, Jim.
Mr.
They do
Twix,
tell you.
They do. Mr. Twix is having nothing on his head at all. He's not having that. And here's your options. You can always get a cute Halloween bandana or a very cute Halloween collar and make it really simple on yourself. And if you do dress your pets, make sure they're comfortable, allow them to move easily, and never cover their faces, their ears, their mouth, their eyes. That's not a good situation. Okay, the next thing, I talk about people wanting to poison pets. It's very common at this time of year leading up to Halloween. There's some sick people out there will try and lure your pets to the wall or your gate with poisonous treats.
Oh, we
That-
saw those two little hooligans the other day in the park. Those
Yes.
two little rampant children that had no discipline and a mother that was checked out.
and they wanted to throw rocks at
they
this
they
cat.
saw a cat walking through the park, and they go, "Let's get some rocks."
And I said,
And
"Oh."
I was about to go and lay into them.
And I was like, "Well, I'm not moving." And then they
I
realized.
had to lay into the mom as well.
And they realized we were stood there for a reason, and they backed off, didn't they? We waited.
I just gave them the evil stare.
The evils. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, where'd you even get that idea from?
I used a Jedi mind trick on them and gave them an evil eye.
They did. They put the rocks down and like walked away. But yeah,
like you move your head slowly while you're staring at them the whole time. Yeah.
Don't do anything bad around Jim. You'll get the stare down. But there are some very horrible, sick people, and they're either going to try and poison your pet or they're going to try and steal your pets. Yeah. Do not leave them in your back gardens, your yards. Do not leave them. I mean, days leading up to Halloween, this is when it all starts to happen. And what happens this time of year is a lot of shelters will not adopt out a black cat. They're such targets for this time of year. Yeah. People will adopt them and try and kill them and do some terrible things. So, and a lot of them won't even adopt a cat out the entire month of a black cat, the entire month of October. So keep them really safe. Keep them at home. There are some sickos out there, and that's how you're going to thwart them. What to do on the night of Halloween? And to be honest, like I said, I'm not comfortable with anybody even coming to my house at all, let alone on Halloween repeatedly coming to the door. Strangers freak the heck out of everybody, including the dogs. All that noise and the weird costumes and everything, and the constant opening and closing of a door is big danger, and it's just not worth putting your pets through that stress. So take the same approach as you would do if there was a thunderstorm coming in or July the 4th kind of thing, and actually put your pets in a secure room away from the front door. Give them their toys, put some music on, give them some treats, keep them comfortable.
Put a keep out sign in your driveway.
Well, what we do is we block our pavement coming up to the door. Mm-hmm. We block it with a table, and we have to put a big bowl of treats on there, and I'm sure the first kid that shows up just takes all of them.
Oh, sure.
We don't care, because I just don't want them coming up to the door. If we're not in, or even if we're in, I don't want it, because it's just not good for our dogs. So that's what we do. And but we're not Debbie Downers. Because last year we dressed up and we just took our dogs for a nice walk up in Boulder City, went to Starbucks, got a puppuccino for the dogs, gave them some treats, took some cute pictures, and we were set for the night. So, oh yeah, tappy tap, trying to keep me on schedule, Mr. Jim.
Somebody.
And it's just this way you can actually, if you actually keep them at home, keep them in their room, this way you're not going to risk losing your pets, because it's a terrible night for them to be out and lost, and you'll be freaked out if they disappear. And you'll be contacting me saying, can you help me? So let's try and avoid it entirely. Which leads me on to pet chips and IDs. Make sure you update your pet's chip info. I wish we were periscoping what's going on right now.
You have to see this studio sometime.
It's like 20 different things happening at the same time.
Diane, you're out of control.
Diane's out of control. Oh, I have seen this, Diane. A brilliant video of stingrays. And it's almost like they're flying because they go up and fly.
Those aren't stingrays. Those are manta rays.
Are they manta rays?
Yes, know your rays.
I have seen a manta ray, but I didn't know that was a manta ray.
Amazing.
That's incredible. Look at them. Wow. Jim and I swam with stingrays and didn't know that we could get barbed to death.
How do you tell the difference?
Size, isn't it?
Manta rays are huge.
Massive.
You see how they're pointy? They have the pointy points.
When we worked on cruise ships,
massive, and
you would
stingrays
see
are more
them,
like
swim by the
shape. Cruise
ship, and when you can see them that big from a cruise ship, they're huge, aren't they, Jim?
Yeah.
But we were at Stingray City in the Cayman Islands because we worked on cruise ships together. I'm just going to run one set of commercials, Jim. Relax. And we got in with these stingrays, and then I don't know. I just got a bit panicky, and my bikini top floated away, and I just wanted to get back in the boat. I was like, just freaked out. Like, get me out. Yeah, but bikini top came off. I didn't care. I get back in the boat now. I've had enough, and that was it. But yeah, that was an episode, wasn't it, Jim? Mm-hmm. Oh, we've had some adventures, haven't we? So, like I said, on that night, make sure leading up to Halloween that you've got your pet's ID tag on them. Make sure their chip is up to scratch when it comes to information. We all know the chances of getting your pet back are much higher when you do those two things. And like I said, you're going to keep your cats indoors and avoid any poisonings or theft of your pets. And always have your pet's vet number available at hand for emergencies. But if you follow these steps, you shouldn't be making a call to anybody in that regard. So with that said, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to run all commercials at once. That's what we're going to do. And we will be right back. Listen to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
People say less is more. At Red Barn, we think less is better. It's what you won't find that sets our natural premium pet food apart. No byproducts, no corn or soy, no fillers. Just the natural ingredients your pets need to live the healthy life they deserve. Look at the label. We want you to. Red Barn Naturals Pet Food. Simply the best. Find it in your local pet specialty store. Try our chicken rolled food as a meal or shredded as a topper.
Do you know that moment when your dirty dog's about to jump in your nice, clean car? You can avoid all the cleanup and mess with a 4K9 seat cover. 4K9s makes heavy-duty seat covers and cargo liners that will blend seamlessly with the interior of your vehicle. You can find us at 4K9s.com. That's the number 4, KNINES.com, or on Amazon.com. 4K9s makes nothing but the best for your best friend.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Now, let's return to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Here again, your host, the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Oh, and we're right back. Oh my gosh. It's a show on the break, isn't it? You should see the show that's going on when we're not live. Oh my gosh, too funny. We're having a good day though today, aren't we, Jim?
So far.
Jim's had 5,000 calories in snacks already. And we talked about stingrays and manta rays and Halloween.
What about your snake this week?
So about a year ago.
Another one of those desert night snakes.
Yeah, about a year ago to the day, I'm sat in the living room. He's not even here. He's on a gig. And I'm sat, I've got the back door open, and Mr. Twix is jumping around like a little maniac. So I swing my legs around on the sofa to stand up and have a look, and there's a snake in my house.
In your house?
In our house. First time I've seen a snake in, 18 years in our house. About 18 inches long. I freak out. The dogs don't want to leave it. So I have to scoop all 3 dogs up and throw them in a room, come back, and the snake's not there. And I'm like, I know it's in my house. So I put some big boots on to protect my legs in case I got bitten. And I texted him, even though he couldn't answer because he was playing a show. So, I'm freaking out. I'm talking to myself really loud, going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. This is a nightmare. This is a living nightmare, I'm saying. So I just got on Facebook and I was like, well, I need some company. I was like, there's a snake in my house. Now, people say the funniest, bizarre suggestions. Saturday night, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, you should call animal control. First of all, they don't deal with snakes. It's Saturday at 10 o'clock at night, people. They're not coming out. You should call the Department of Wildlife. I think that's a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday deal, you know. I thought, the suggestions are ridiculous. Well, anyway, and I wasn't asking for suggestions. I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be by myself. So there I am, just paranoid until he texts me back after the show and, really, it's that long? Yes, it's that long. Come home. So I'm covered up. He strips down Why? I don't know. And he's got on his boxer shorts on with one big angry bird on the front.
You have to get in the zone.
You got to get you got to have those Angry Bird pants on in order to catch a snake.
Do you like the Angry Birds?
We're like
Yeah,
dual
he
survivor. I was like the nature guy, and you were like the special forces guy.
So he's got barbecue tongs. And I give him a plastic shoebox, and I don't have a lid for it. I've got a cardboard lid for it. So anyway, he's moving things all casual, like, well, what's snake? I don't see nothing, moving curtains. And then I just hear him scream, snake!
Yeah, you keep exaggerating.
No, Jim, you were freaking out. Admit to it.
No.
Does he scream like a girl?
Yeah, it goes like that with his hands. And he catches it with the barbecue tongs, and then he's putting it in the shoebox, and he's going, put the lid on it, and then he's mad because it's not the matching lid. I don't know why it was such a big deal. I was like, it's the only lid I've got, I don't care. Oh, it's not, I've just put it in the box, we take a picture. So then he decides, it's midnight by this time, he decides he's going to go to the park to release
Catch and release program.
Snake program at our house. So off he goes to the park, and he's gone forever. I thought, oh, he's been arrested. He's got Angry Bird shorts on only, and he's got barbecue tongs and a snake in the shoebox. I mean, you can't make it up. So then he came back. Then a week later, I'm power washing the front of our driveway, and I power wash a snake out of a crack.
Kind of snake.
So another snake. And then this week, we were coming back from a dog walk, and it's near our post box. And oh my gosh, there's another snake! So we get the dogs in. Now this snake is living in the pedestal of the mailbox. Yeah. So we couldn't get it out, could we? It went under there. And so yesterday I did see one of my postmen. I said, oh, by the way, watch out for snakes. So there's one on the pedestal. Who knows if they can get into the mailbox part? I'm not even sure. And he goes, are you kidding me? I said, no, I'm telling you the truth. So he's going to report it, he said, to his superintendent. I don't know what they would have to do, seal it. I don't know. But there's a snake out there.
You don't want to seal it with the snake.
No. You'd have to get the snake out, of course, yeah, and then seal it.
If it was Mike with the snake?
Do you like snakes?
No.
No, oh.
He would weed eat it.
He would what?
Weed whack it.
No.
Oh, I'd chop that thing up.
That's terrible.
I'm sorry. I can take spiders and bugs and all that, but them snakes.
Look, all you need is barbecue tongs and a shoebox, like he did.
Yeah, okay.
Pair of boxes. We used to do that in North Carolina when we lived there because there were lots and lots of snakes in the backyard.
Oh, I could. They do make me shudder.
Yeah.
They do make me shudder.
I won't monkey with the black snakes.
Yeah.
Black snake will come up and punch you in the eye.
Yeah. They keep all the poisonous snakes away.
With what?
Black snakes are aggressive.
What, like headbutt you?
Oh, they're
You got big, thick hide on them, too.
black snakes are fighters. They'll come after you.
I hate spiders.
So that's our snake story. That's our weird snake story. So, yeah, we'll probably see it again, I'm sure.
Oh, my God. You should take a picture.
Well, I will do, because I've got pictures of the others. He tried to pick the other one up with a screwdriver last time. That didn't work very well, did it, Jim? That's all he had at hand was a screwdriver. So you're never going to catch it with that. But he did. He caught it. Put it in a Chinese food box. Our neighbour, when he saw it carry across the road, thought he was bringing in some lunch. He said, have you got lunch in that Chinese ticker food? No. It's
One-dog snake?
It's a snake. Oh, we should write a book, Jim, about some of our escapades. Well, talking of snakes and other animals, and what else have we done? It's all water animals. What do they call them? What's a water animal? Ones that live in the ocean.
Fish.
Satian.
Fish.
There's a name for it. Anyway, good news came out of Long Beach. After vigorous lobbying by a coalition of groups led by the Animal League Defense Fund. These are a brilliant organization you should follow. This is a team of attorneys that work for free, and they put all the animal cases together. You know, some big ones too. And this one's massive. The nation's leading legal advocacy organization for animals is the ALDF. And the California Coastal Commission voted, I think it was yesterday, to do the right thing for orcas by conditioning SeaWorld's permit to expand the tanks at its San Diego facility on a strict requirement that the marine park agree to not add additional orcas to the existing inventory. So basically, they get to expand the tanks. Everybody's worried, they're going to put more orcas in there. But this is yes, you can expand it. And the special permit conditions proposed by the ALDF and a coalition of animal and environmental protection organizations are necessary to ensure that the existing orcas already held captive in SeaWorld's San Diego tanks get the full benefit of marginally larger tanks. More important, the Commission's decision means that if SeaWorld decides to move forward with the Blue World expansion project, it will essentially be required to phase out the use of orcas for entertainment in San Diego. And ALDF does applaud the Commission's decision as the best outcome for the animals under the circumstances. It also means they're not allowed to breed at that facility. It doesn't mean all the SeaWorld facilities. Obviously, it looks like they have to do things by state or by country or whatever. Because
so they have reporting then?
I am sure they will have put stuff in place for that, because this organization is brilliant. Because my thing was, they'll just let them breed. They got bigger tanks now. They might not bring them in, but they might let them breed. And apparently they're not allowed to let them breed, and they're not allowed to transport in and out of those tanks anymore. So it is it's progress. It's not always perfection, but progress is always very good before you get to perfection. So, because sometimes people want perfection straight away. It just doesn't happen that way, where you can wave a magic wand and say, okay, let's release all the animals. I mean, it's just a gradual thing, but they are making massive strides, this organization, in some really big cases. They're on the tiger case here in town, the dolphins, you name it, they're on it. So it was a good piece of news. Of course, people have to keep their eye out on them, because you don't know how people get around legal wording. And I don't even know if they're going to even, what's the word when you don't like the outcome? Go back and try and take legal action. Appeal it. I don't know. They might appeal it. I mean, I can't imagine they're happy with that.
Do you know much about orcas, and have you read up on orcas?
Yes. As in like captive orcas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, orcas and dolphins don't get to be orcas and dolphins in captivity. They just don't.
Right.
Because they can only live to their environment, or...
They can only communicate with their own specific family.
Yes.
You can't lump one from one region in one pod with another from another region.
They can't communicate properly.
So I remember watching Free Willy.
Yeah,
everybody.
That started the movement.
Really?
That started the movement. Well, how come we still have orcas in captivity then? This movie's what you did in the movie. Why couldn't you? And there's two options when it comes to releasing dolphins from captivity and whales. Some can be trained to go back into the wild. They have had a couple that have been born in captivity, and they've trained them to go back into the wild, and they've done brilliantly. Or you retire them to a sea pen, so it's like, it's the ocean,
right?
But it's cordoned off, and obviously it's much bigger than a tank. We always, say it's like a bathtub that they put them in here, and they've had a lot of success with it, but they make so much money with it. So that's the issue. But saying that, like they were saying, SeaWorld is circling the drain right now, and Harry Styles from One Direction was doing this concert in San Diego, and said, do you love dolphins? Do you love whales? Yes. Don't buy a ticket. It's SeaWorld. And it's made a massive impact because it's just raised its awareness. Not everybody knows. People go, is raising awareness that important? Oh my gosh, yes, you have no idea. One, it could be, I'm never going there again, or it could be, I want to get involved in this, I need to learn more, so it really does, all funds can come in to fight these kind of things.
I've never been to SeaWorld.
Me neither. You never see me in a circus, you don't see me in a SeaWorld. You just won't. I was upset because I went over to Bonnie Springs a couple of weeks ago, and they've got a petting zoo in there, and it's not right. And they had a coyote there.
Yes.
Coyotes live here. They live in the mountains. Yes. It's in a cage in the mountains. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Not very happy. Donkeys, ponies, the awful wagon wheel spoke thing and the attachment, and they're going round and round and round for hours. Kids on their backs. It's wrong. But people are realizing that it's wrong.
Yes.
And that's why you're seeing these kind of impact with SeaWorld. So, of course, everybody will be watching.
I have a question. The orcas that are in captivity,
their dorsal fin, they're ill.
Is that the reason that you see only them that are in captivity?
They're not well.
You see out
in the wild, their dorsal fin is up because
they're what?
Ill.
They're not well.
Not well.
Really?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Autoimmune diseases.
They're depressed. They're on antidepressants because they can't be a whale.
Psychoses.
Oh yeah. I mean, like dolphins, dolphins don't attack other dolphins, and that's what they've been doing. They've been doing it here at the Mirage Hotel. They attack each other out of boredom. They're chewing on the metal gates. They're just, it's
self-mutilating
because they can't fulfill being a dolphin.
Right.
They can't fulfill being a dolphin, and that's what's terrible, about those situations. And which leads me on to one of my favorite people, Rico Barry. Now, I met Rico Barry last year, around about this time last year, and Rico Barry, we've not got a lot of time, I got to talk fast. Rico Barry used to be the trainer for Flipper, and they used 7 Dolphins for that. And Flipper didn't run for that long, in all honesty, but he became this big celebrity animal trainer. And then when the show was done, he'd go back and visit them. And his favorite was Kathy. And he said she was really ill, in bad shape, depressed, sunburned. And she came up to him at the tank. And dolphins choose to breathe, by the way. They choose to breathe. Mm-hmm. She took a deep breath. She drowned herself right in front of him. And that was the actual defining moment where he changed everything about what he'd been doing with animals. Because he was part of actually capturing them from the ocean to come bring them into, the shows and stuff like that. And he, that day, I think he said he went to a Navy base and cut the nets and released some dolphins into the ocean. And that's the first day he got arrested, and then continued to do that since then. Now, Rico Barry, you might not know his name, but you know the movie The Cove?
Yes.
That is Rico Barry, who shone a light on it when he heard about what was happening in the Cove itself. And to this day, 28 years later, he's there right now, I think, because that hunting season is about 6 months. Mm-hmm. It's not just hunting, though. It's they drive the dolphins into that cove by a metal pole in the ocean and hit it with a hammer, and it scares them to death, and it drives them into that cove where trainers from all around the world are there paying $100,000 for a dolphin. They pick them out, and then the ones that are left, they club them to death and kill them. And then they sell the meat, which is very high in mercury. A lot of the Japanese out there don't know that this is going on. It's been such a terrible secret from this small fishing village. It's horrific. And so if you follow his page, you'll say it's been a red day at the Cove or a blue day at the Cove, because the Cove goes red with blood. Right. So this is Rico Barry, and fantastic 3-part miniseries. Although it's not current, it tells you a little bit about his works, not just with Taiji in Japan, but also in the Solomon Islands, and getting these islanders and these chiefs to not slaughter anymore, and to not sell them for export, for shows. And he's an amazing guy, and you can find it on the Animal Planet, and it's a 3-part series, and it's 1 on Taiji and 2 parts on the Solomon Islands, and you will absolutely
have to check
love this guy. I mean, from a guy that went from taking them from the ocean and training them to going, it's the single worst thing I've ever done in my life, and he's now in his 70s, I think, and his son's following in his footsteps, Lincoln, and amazing people, amazing. Oh, Jim's keeping me on time here.
Somebody's gotta.
But yeah, if you go to the Animal Planet, you can watch it online for free. And it's absolutely fascinating. It's called Blood Dolphins. You'll want to get involved in one way or another, whether it's just sharing the information or donating, or it makes me actually want to go out to these places and actually be part of a team, because
that would be great.
And it's happening all over the world, but he's making strides. He's the number 1 guy that they call when they need help with a dolphin or a whale, and very educated, and he's a very calm man, which is amazing. I think that's why he has such great success. He's very steady. He knows his stuff. I know, Jim. He thinks he's the boss of me today.
Jim, you want to come over about 4 o'clock?
You want to come back and boss Diana around in her show?
You want to come and sit on my show, because we're missing a host.
I'll straighten you guys out.
He's something else, I tell you.
I think you would enjoy sitting here talking to me and Sandy, wouldn't you?
I would.
Yeah, Sandy's fun.
Don't forget, if you're not doing anything, come back at 4 o'clock. You guys can have a good time with us.
I think we'll probably still be at the event today.
Well, we'll be there at least till 2:30, I think. But see how you feel.
See how you feel, and if you want to come in, come in.
We need to send out praises and accolades now, because we have to go here in a second.
Go on then. What's your accolades?
Say your things to your closing things.
Oh, it takes a minute. What, we got 2 minutes, Mike? Here we go. We always say at the end of the show, you can help a pet in need, either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share their information, rescue your next family member, replace the waste shop with adopt, be kind to all our animals, and we'd like you to be very safe on Halloween, so follow the tips. They're going to go up on my blog and up on my Facebook page. Thank you for Jim being Jim.
Yes,
and Diane showing me the manta rays.
We forgot to mention that Little Spirit has her permanent home now.
The dog from the airport that was found on the runway. She's got a forever home. So we'll do a big update on her. So that's it. That's the end of the show. Come down and see us at the Pet Appreciation Day at Chapman Chrysler Jeep at the Henderson Auto Mall. We'll be there till 2:00 and come and meet some of our other friends there. Let's have a doggy selfie and come get treats from me. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.